At 2 months pregnant, following my solitary prenatal examination, I encountered my husband, purportedly working late, at the supermarket, holding a scantily clad young woman in his arms. "Aren't you returning home? Fearful your dowdy wife might investigate?" Leon smirked contemptuously. "She's with child, she can't flee." Witnessing her retching disgusts me. What woman hasn't experienced pregnancy? Such affectation. Upon hearing his utterance, despite the sweltering summer heat, I felt as if a bucket of ice water had been poured over me, laughing through tears. Upon returning home, the wedding photograph on the wall appeared exceedingly jarring. Our relationship spanned 8 years from academic days to matrimony. Until today, I believed myself the happiest woman globally, but now only disarray remains. "Darling, you've returned so early, I intended to fetch you after overtime." Gazing at him, recalling his supermarket words, I clamped my mouth and hastened to the lavatory. Leon hesitated briefly before patting my back, his subdued tone laced with impatience. "Shall I procure a glass of water for you?" "Depart." Affected and repulsive such is his perception of me, tears mingled with vomit, I remained in the restroom for an extended period, and he never re-entered. Upon my emergence, he was engaged in culinary activities in the kitchen. Since my pregnancy, Leon has frequently cooked, yet observing his back, I no longer felt former distress. He presented the cuisine, embodying an exemplary spouse. "Ivy, the meal is prepared." I remained stationary and silent, entering the bedroom and securing the door. "What ails you? Are you displeased today?" I inhaled deeply, yet unvoiced interrogations left me enshrouded in impotence. "Negative, I merely desire repose." "Even if you're disinclined to eat, the fetus requires sustenance. How can you be so egocentric?" Previously, I'd have playfully asked, "Do you only cherish the child, not me?" Now, I feel only derision. "Ivy, what precisely is amiss today? Why this unwarranted petulance?" Leon's patience waned. I sat up, regarding him impassively. The telephone chimed. With a glance, I discerned the annotation baby. He took the device to the balcony, his countenance showing increasing disquiet. "Await my arrival, I'll be expeditious." Leon stood before me, explaining, "An urgent workplace matter precludes my company now. The meal is ready, ensure you eat, lest my son hunger." Before I could respond, only a firmly shut door remained. I smiled wryly, tears falling uncontrollably, cardiac anguish spread, and I curled up on the bed, stunned for a long time. Cora joined Leon's company a year ago. I'd seen her at prior gatherings, where they exchanged amorous glances, unnoticed by me. Until dawn, he hadn't returned. My phone received a bed photo from Cora, showing Leon shirtless, as if post-labor, sleeping soundly beside her. "Ivy, your years-long bond disintegrated with a breeze." I clutched my phone, abdominal spasms ensuing, cold sweat breaking, and trembling throughout. Moments before losing consciousness, I dialed emergency services, yet my husband remained in another's bed. How could you face a threatened miscarriage? Upon regaining consciousness, I saw Leon in a furious state, shirt buttons misaligned, with clear kiss marks on his chest. "Where were you last night?" I inquired, gazing at him. "I was working overtime," he replied swiftly, with scant hesitation. Hearing his perfunctory words, I smiled bitterly, unable to calm myself, though the fetus reminded me to avoid agitation. "When did it start with Cora?" Leon was initially taken aback, his questioning tone softening instantly. "Ivy, what nonsense is this? Is pregnancy clouding your mind? Don't you know the truth?" I countered. "Yes, I helped Cora fix her plumbing. She's a recent graduate, alone in this city. Shouldn't I assist her?" "Ivy, resting at home, how did you threaten miscarriage?" Leon rebutted confidently, unembarrassed. "Can't she hire a worker?" You, a colleague, helping her unprofessional and ridiculous. Hearing my sarcasm, Leon yelled, "Why so many questions? Your paramount task is to bear my son." My heart grew colder as he reiterated, "Haven't I pampered you enough lately? You're just pregnant, not incapacitated. What's with the daily princess act and vomiting? Is this how you see me?" I was profoundly disappointed, tears blurring my vision. Leon opened his mouth, as if realizing his excess. Yet, recalling my probing about Cora, he stiffly said, "Baby differs from you, she lacks your schemes." I closed my eyes, forcing out, "Depart. You think you're justified? I've spoiled you." He left without regard, slamming the door. Over the next 3 days, except for delivering meals, he lingered no longer. Confined to bed, I felt daily edema, lacking fresh clothes, leaving me uncomfortably sticky. "Get me 2 garments." He snorted condescendingly, "Now you ask for help?" I shut my eyes, averse to his face. "Ivy, don't forget your status in this relationship." I clutched the bedsheet, grinding my teeth. At school, he was a notorious playboy, yet I was drawn to him. I tirelessly followed him, subject to his whims. His friends called me the most persistent spare, yet, as I neared surrender, Leon rekindled my hope. Post-employment, his current position was gained by my pleasing their boss. At dinners, greasy men groped me as I drank cup after cup. Leon turned a blind eye. When I suggested stopping, he slapped me hard, saying, "You can't handle my work, what use are you?" Recalling the past chilled me, yet post-promotion, he treated me well for a time, even during pregnancy. "Ivy, what are you pretending now?" His words were deafening. I opened my eyes to his intensely aversive gaze. "Leave, I don't need you." "Fine, don't call me later." He kept his word, never returning. I hired a caregiver, sparing my parents worry. On discharge day, a deluge fell. The caregiver packed my things, cautiously asking, "Ivy, with such rain, how will you return?" I replied lightly, "It's fine, I'll take a taxi." In this weather, taxis are scarce, the hospital entrance is crowded, and your condition may not hold. Hearing her concern, I forced a smile, "Thank you, I can manage." Indeed, after over an hour, no taxi appeared. My legs trembled, yet I refused to call Leon. The sky darkened as rain intensified. I dialed, "What's up?" "I'm discharged today." "You mean I should pick you up?" Leon sounded pleased. "Leon, you're going out in this rain?" Cora's saccharine voice came through. After 2 more hours, I secured a taxi as Leon's car stopped before me. "Ivy, making Leon fetch you in this rain shows no empathy." Cora sat in the passenger seat, window half down, eyes triumphant. Leon said coldly, "Get in quickly." I looked at them calmly, "I've got a car." Then I walked to the taxi, "Sorry to keep you waiting." In the car, my body temperature rose, yet I felt icy. Back home, I bathed and lay in bed. As I prepared to sleep, Leon returned, "Ivy, are you toying with me? Driving 2 hours in rain to get you, and you return alone? You think this is fun?" Cora, alone in her rental, must be scared. I smiled, "Then go keep her company." Leon frowned, "You're not angry? You were so petty before, why so generous now?" "Yes, go ahead." I genuinely ceased caring, desiring only sleep. "Playing hard to get, you've matured," Leon clapped, his words dripping with sarcasm. Seeing my indifference, he panicked, "Ivy, I just wanted to teach you a lesson." "Yes, I know." I lay under the covers, still cold, closing my eyes. Salty tears fell, and I made a decision to act upon. Falling into a groggy sleep, I heard Cora's voice outside, "Stop it, your unreasonable hag is inside." No matter, a few words, and she's mine. I donned headphones. At dawn, Leon pointed to leftover breakfast, "Eat, what if my son starves? Mere scraps with 2 pairs of chopsticks. Who ate with you? I asked. In an unfamiliar coat, Leon said, Cora came to apologize, you stayed in bed. I laughed sarcastically, who apologizes at 6 a.m.? Seeing my smile, he said irritably, what's that look? Cora kindly apologized, what more do you want? Must I accept her apology? Ungrateful, he left coldly and departed. I bit my lip, stood long, then called the hospital, scheduling an abortion for 3 days later. Returning from work, I heard noises before opening the door. Cora clung to Leon, clothes disheveled, face flushed. He frowned, why so early? I said, my return is untimely. How could it be? You're pregnant, deserving care, she smirked mockingly. Recalling my recent behavior, Leon said coldly, make us dinner. No, I refused. Oh, Sister Ivy is fierce, you're fine, why pretend? Silent, I quickly packed clothes and prepared to leave. This house was repugnant. You want to run away? Childish tricks, you think I care? Leon gripped my hand, eyes blazing with anger. Do you care? I asked. He released my hand, smiling, don't return, can your meager salary sustain you? You're carrying my son, I doubt you'll flee far. Yes, thinking your pregnancy is gold, all women are thus. I eyed Cora, you've been pregnant? Your manipulative act is perfect. Apologize to Cora. Impossible, I said stubbornly. Leon grabbed my chin, forcing me to look up. Ivy, apologize to Cora. Leon, you're a scumbag. I broke free, perhaps enraged, he slapped me. Then, looking at his hand, he murmured, Ivy, I laughed aloud, tears falling, good, very good. Leon, don't go, I'm dizzy. Taking nothing, I left the house, slap mark visible, ignoring the crowd's whispers, my heart irreparably shattered. I called my parents and moved into my premarital home, lying in the cold operating room, with only past bitterness, consciousness faded. I couldn't bear this child to suffer in this world, such a father is better absent. Awakening, I saw my parents' red eyes, I wished to comfort them but couldn't muster a smile. A month later, Leon blocked me at my company. Ivy, enough tantrums? Leon, let's divorce, I said, handing him the divorce papers. He chuckled, no divorce during pregnancy, then saw my flat abdomen and panicked. Ivy, how dare you abort our child? Leon gritted out, his eyes holding unreadable emotions. I smiled faintly, why not? For such a trifle, you'd divorce me and abort our child, how heartless. You're insane, why did I marry you? Leon spoke freely, then shook his head at my calm face. Ivy, it's not like that, where's my son? Want a son? Let Cora bear one, aren't you two in sync? I said. Seeing my resolve, he panicked, losing his superiority, no, it's not. 8 years didn't you love me most? I just wanted to teach you a lesson. 8 years with you was my greatest lesson. As if unburdening my heart, I exhaled long. Unaccepting, Leon tried to grab my hand, pleading, honey, don't, we can have another son. I laughed, tears falling, when did you treat me as your wife? Divorce is with my lawyer, don't find me again. Leon reached out, ignored by me, he always hurt me then begged, but now I refuse deception, knowing my softness emboldens him. Mom sighed upon my return, Leon called, asking me to persuade you. Daughter, cutting losses is best, not persisting down one path. My parents always disapproved of Leon's ways but couldn't stop me then. I hugged Mom, this time, I've truly decided. Good, good. Unexpectedly, Leon appeared downstairs the next day with roses, rushing to me as I emerged. Honey. We're divorcing, I'm not your wife, I refused coldly. I'll never agree to divorce. What, emulate an emperor with concubines? Ridiculous, you've always been a player, so why seek me now? I said sarcastically, recalling his hurtful acts. Leon lowered his head silently. I won't anymore, don't be like this. I didn't blame you for the child, why punish me with the past? You blame me? What right have you? Did you think of me while frolicking with Cora at home? Didn't you call me disgusting and pretentious? Why seek me now? Want me to pretend nothing happened, like before? I wasn't ignorant of Leon, just numbed myself, hoping he'd return home someday. He ignored me repeatedly, like a bored player returning only when tired. Ivy, it's not so, I still feel for you. 8 years even a dog earns affection. Saying this, I passed him without hesitation, wind stinging my tearful eyes. Following him years left me wounded. When I let go, he said I was still in his heart. How can a scarred heart be mended? I began a routine life. Downstairs at work, Cora approached, raising her hand to strike, but I seized her wrist. Ivy, you used divorce to force Leon to dump me, shameless. I flung her off. What, failed to rise? I'd been lifting weights, gaining strength. Cora gritted her teeth. Without your cunning, I wouldn't be here. I'm fired, happy now? I viewed her as a madwoman, chuckling, what's it to me? Seek Leon, not me. Thought you were a pushover, but you're tough. Cora rushed me again, only to be pushed down by a sudden Leon, get lost. Leon, you can't treat me like this, Cora said pitifully, receiving no pity from him. He turned to me, face pained, Ivy, I've thought much, I still love you. Only you give me a home, you're my wife. I apologize for before, forgive me. First time I saw this look. Sourness spread to my mouth, I smiled bitterly, courts in 2 days, be there. Leon shook stiffly, Ivy, can you really give me up? You didn't hesitate hurting me repeatedly, your lover awaits on the ground, I won't intrude. I ignored the crowd's whispers. I recall early dating, playfully asking, can we make our relationship public on Facebook? Ivy, can't you be less childish? Meeting friends, he'd distance himself, dropping my hand instantly. Am I so unpresentable? I never said that, you overthink. I clung to hope then, taming him wasn't easy, he married me when tired, still staying out. I pursed my lips, walking far, their arguing still audible, seeing couples hand in hand, I glanced and looked away. Once envious, now I won't beg someone who doesn't love me much, my heart aches, years of feelings needing time to fade. Divorce went smoothly with his infidelity evidence, Leon blocked me, hurt, why divorce now? Because I don't love you anymore. Autumn wind blew leaves onto my shoulder, he reached to remove them, you seem pretentious like this. A boomerang hit him, his past words returned to him. Facing promotion, I no longer refused. I prioritized Leon, smiling at promotions, foolish to abandon all for one man if not awakened, I'd have no way back. Happily dining with friends, Daphne asked, after all these years, you've finally seen reason. Was I so stupid before? I asked. Daphne said, if you hadn't told me you divorced that jerk, I wouldn't meet you. Hearing Daphne, I sighed, hand on forehead, still sharp-tongued. Leon, a top scumbag, how'd you love him? His messes take days to tell. I shut my mouth, picked my ear, giving her a thumbs up, today's for my promotion, in half a month, I'll leave this city. Right, why mention that scumbag? Daphne drank more happily, soon heading to the restroom. Sitting, Leon's ex-boss put an arm on my shoulder, rubbing hands with ill intent, you're Leon's wife, we dined before, let's continue today. I knocked off his groping hand, shouting, sexual harassment here. He withdrew, what do you mean? Keep this up, and I'll trouble your husband. Go to a hotel now, and it's forgotten. I smiled, approaching. His lewd grin appeared. I splashed a drink on his face, saying lightly, "Sorry, my hand slipped." The commotion grew. Leon emerged from a room, seeing his boss beaten by Daphne and me. "Are you okay?" He scanned me, concerned. I didn't reply, grabbed my bag, and left the restaurant quickly. Leon chased me to the street. "Ivy." "What is it?" I was eerily calm. He bowed his head, "Sorry for before." "What past?" "I've forgotten." Seeing my coldness, Leon seemed puzzled. "You always liked me, why the sudden change?" "Anyone meeting you unchanged is a fool." My sarcasm piqued. Leon said, "I've cut Cora off and apologized sincerely. Isn't that enough?" I smiled. "Oh, should I kneel in thanks?" "Do you believe your own words?" "If we meet again, we're strangers." Resolutely, I took Daphne's hand and left. "Ivy, why this far?" His helpless, sad voice reached me. "Cool, didn't expect this side of you," Daphne thumbed up. I smiled, "Thanks for the praise." Talking with Daphne till midnight broadened my mind, lightening the chest burden. A week later, I began work handover. Leon texted he was waiting downstairs. I ignored it, seeing him in the scorching sun while fetching water. I stood before him countless times, uncherished. After work, unavoidably meeting, he smiled, "Waiting for someone is tormenting." "Anything?" I asked. "Just to see you," Leon said softly, as if fearing a misstep. "I'm fine, please leave and don't disturb me again." I took a deep breath, issuing an eviction. He quickened, blocking me again. I looked at him, lips curved. "What, want to use force here?" Leon's face turned ugly, trembling slightly. "Sorry, my fault." "If it's just nonsense, leave." "Let me care for you?" I smiled. "What future?" "We're strangers." He hugged me, like a repentant prodigal, regretful. "Ivy, I've thought much, I still like you." "I can't lose you. 8 years, you'd give up?" "One who's done no wrong deserves forgiveness." I pushed him away, slapping him hard. "Not everything's forgivable. If sorry or regret worked, there'd be no regrets." Leon stood dejected, his beautiful eyes full of pain. "Bitter?" "I endured it too, crying helplessly, craving your scarce tenderness, begging for company, but your gaze lingered briefly then vanished." The night before leaving, eyeing packed luggage, I'd bid the past farewell. Outside, drunk Leon appeared. "Ivy, honey, I'm back." "Get lost," I whispered, heard clearly. Seeing packed items, Leon sobered. "What are you doing?" "What's it to you?" I countered, arms crossed. "You're leaving?" "Where?" "I'll go too," Leon said urgently. "If you're sick, see a doctor, don't go mad here." Ignoring my sarcasm, he stared. "Don't abandon me." "Leon, we're divorced, it's long over." "Where I go, what I do, is my freedom. What right have you to stop me?" "It's not so, Ivy, don't you care at all anymore?" Leon looked expectantly. I said, "Don't dirty my floor." Hearing this, he lost control, shaking my shoulders, eyes red like a beast about to rage. "You weren't like this, why abort our child, divorce me? Please don't go." Seeing his frenzy, I pushed him off, grabbing a knife from the kitchen. "If you touch me again, it's you or me." Like a warrior to battle, I braced for a life or death stand. "If you dare touch me again, it's you or me." Like a frontline soldier, I held a nearly mortal resolve. 6 months ago, Leon and Cora were ardent, unbeknownst to me. At their department dinner, hints abounded, and I said, young, but scheming. After dinner, Cora cried long, missing work a week, unaware. I waited for him as usual. That day, he drank heavily, entering and slapping me twice without words. I couldn't resist, and he slept beside me, exhausted. Then, I was ready to divorce. Next day, Leon begged, claiming drunken folly, even slapping himself to prove loyalty. Soon after, I got pregnant. That night became a nightmare. The knife fell, waking me, and I hugged my legs, sobbing. Mom left this morning, consoling me the cities are close, return easy. Tonight felt like escaping death. Next day, as I left, Leon waited, kneeling upon seeing me. Ivy, sorry for last night. I gritted my teeth, holding emotions, get lost, out of my world. Give me one chance, I know I'm wrong. I've called police, I said, phone in hand. He stood soullessly, smiling bitterly. Why can't you forgive me this time? I know I erred. Cora's gone, can we go back? You're always self-righteous, thinking an apology suffices. From now, no more meetings. I heard Leon's cries but didn't look back. He might know his wrong, yet I won't forgive. I dragged my luggage and left. On the plane, the clouds were beautiful, the past 8 years gone. In a daze, I dreamt of us, youthful me, full of pure love, neared Leon step by step. He was indifferent yet open, and my silent giving led us together. On our wedding day, he held my hand, promising a good life. Later memories consumed me, scolding, beating, apologies, struggling like feet in a deepening mire. Thankfully, I survived. 2 months in this city, my life on track. Shopping one day, I saw a familiar figure. What's wrong with being the mistress? Your husband and I are true love, is that wrong? You're old, a mother, what right to compete? Cora, badly beaten, stayed defiant, yelling, kill me, your husband won't spare you. A pot-bellied man rushed in, sliding to his knees. Honey, I'm wrong, this mistress seduced me. Cora, stunned, said, we met at a nightclub, you booked me often. A farce, I left. Cora's voice followed, why are you here? I didn't speak or acknowledge her. She glared hatefully, without your divorce talk, Leon wouldn't ditch me. I said, you're just the worst of his many women. Cora broke, no man who loved her chose her firmly. I left coldly. As first snow fell, I wasn't home. Roasted sweet potato aroma tempted me, and I bought a big piece. On my way home, Leon stood there, no longer spirited, exuding decay with a scruffy beard. Ivy, long time. I bypassed him to go home. I'm dying, will you see me off? I paused, die far away. He laughed loud, choking out, in the end, I wronged you. I took it as another trick, uncaring. I huddled indoors, enjoying heat and eating warm sweet potato. I watched him stand long in snow, staring blankly up. I didn't go down to see him. Much later, I learned it was our last meeting. Leon had late-stage cancer, untreatable when found. He sought my forgiveness at the end, but I refused, unregretful of my choice. I didn't want to forgive. Ultimately, shortly after his death, I secretly visited his grave, a fine spot by mountains and water. Even dead, he remained refined. Looking at his photo, touching his tombstone, I smiled. This life, next life, any time or space, I won't forgive you. Loving him exhausted me. Only when he lay in this cold ground did I feel he'd vanished from my life. I sat long before leaving. Returning to this city felt strange yet familiar. Daphne said he kept saying till death, sorry, Ivy. He knew he was wrong, can he make amends? Hearing this, I felt little, but after goodbye, walking, tears fell uncontrollably. Sorry is useless, I recall countless times saying, sorry, my fault, always yielding first. He remembered my goodness too late. Tightening my bag, I left again. This time, my heart felt no sorrow.